Hey everybody, we're bringing you another preview on the road again. This time we're actually staying in Branson, but we are bowling the Greater Ozarks tournament in Springfield this weekend. We just got here. We're in the place, and so this is a preview for a couple balls that Storm just announced today. So I'm still trying to get to them. I didn't actually write any kind of review or script or whatever you want to call it down, so I'm just winging it. So you're about to find out how bad of an idea that is. But anyway, Storm earlier today announced the Ion Pro Solid and the High Road 40. So we're going to talk about those. Another short note here too. They also discontinued the XL. I heard that through the grapevine, but the XL has been discontinued. It came out June 20th, 21st or something last year. So almost a year, basically a year. That's a pretty good lifespan for a ball. So no problems there, but just a word to the wise, if you want to pick one up, they will probably, I'm not sure if they'll be discounted or not. You'll have to check around and see. But if you want another one, you might want to get on it before they all disappear. But at the same time, they normally discontinue stuff when there's more stuff coming down the pipe. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Ion Pro Solid. So this is basically just a solid Ion Pro because it's the same cover. It's got TX16. This is just solid instead of the hybrid. And this one also comes polished with Power Edge instead of at 4,000 grit. So it does say on here, sorry if this is a little small and you can't exactly read it. No, it looks pretty good. So the same core, of course, and it's the Pro version. This isn't an Ion Max Solid, which Ion Max was a solid. But this is the Ion Pro, so this is more in the Envy Tour, Hammer Effect Tour, Black Venom, Lethal Venom type of direction. The kind of mild ASIM tour cores. They're coming out, or at least the Ion Pro is coming out on the 20th. It's a pretty sharp looking ball. I like the colors. It's like a brighter IQ Tour. Fragrance is Blueberry Donut. That's always important. Let me make sure that they're coming out on the same day. I did not check that. This is why I write stuff down. Also coming out on June 20th. That one's Pineapple Apple Crisp. That should be amazeballs. This looks like the IQ, the TL30, which is also a great color. Like that quite a bit. There'd been several Storm balls that have been several that have been that color, and I like it. It looks good. So all good there. Says it's got TX16 solid. It's enhanced with Power Edge, so it's the Power Edge polish. It's been pretty good stuff from what I've seen. So if you want something, let me see, bowlers who love the hybrid but we're looking for a more pronounced back-end motion will discover exactly what they need with the Ion Pro Solid. And that may not make a whole lot of sense at first. It's like, okay, well, why would the solid give you more back-end than the hybrid? Well, again, they're comparing the polished Ion Pro Solid to the sanded Ion Pro, which only came at 4,000, but there is a little bit of difference. That's why a lot of people will use a 3,000 or 4,000 pad on factory shine balls to kind of knock the shine off. So you're smoothing it off just a little bit, but you're still retaining most of the shape. But sometimes, depending on the formula, it doesn't necessarily mean that the pearl is going to be the cleanest and the sharpest, and the solid is going to be the earliest and the smoothest. And that's not always how it goes. So we'll take a look once again. Let me see here. It does of course have the AI core. Remember, the Ion Pro was the very first ball that didn't just have the AI core just put on an existing core. This was the very first core that they designed in combining with AI or with AI in mind. It's not just a core from it's not like they just slapped AI on it. They actually designed this core from the ground up with the AI core as a part of the design process. Power Edge, TX16 solid, like we said, 247 RG, that's very low. It's extremely low. Not going to find much lower. Summits at 246 are the lowest ones. 035 differential, so it's solid, a little bit higher than an IQ Tour, but it's right on par with like the Hammer Effect Tour. I would say that this and Hammer Effect Tour are kind of going to be in similar territory. The Black Venom, kind of not super strong, but kind of a medium strong. Again, benchmarky type of mild ASIM, 014 int diff. So again, it's creeping up to, I mean, I think the int diff strength on the Eternity Pi was the same. So it's a little bit above medium. For reference, something like the Rubicon was 0.11. And the numbers are all fairly similar. The RG does jump up a little bit in 15 pounds to 251. That will be noticeable. It takes, for me, I think that 5 points in RG is a big deal, but you have to get more than 10 points in differential or int diff to really notice that much. So aside from that, and if you throw 14s anyway, you're used to RG values being a little bit higher, and so it's kind of a yin and yang thing. People will look at that and think, oh, okay, well, that number really jumps up, but it's like, yeah, but you're already used to that in 14 pounds to begin with. And so if they do actually match the RG of the 15 and 16 pound balls, then you're going to get a quite different experience from what you're used to. So it may be good, it may be a bad thing. If you scroll down further on here, you can see they've got the text sheets, they got the ball image, they got drill specs. If you want to look at that, it's got a bunch of stuff. It's got a bunch of different stuff on the core if you want to read that. There's not a whole lot it says here, but we've in the cover stock section, but it's been on the TX16s on the Phase 2, and it's been on a lot of different stuff. It's been on the Journey. I can't pull this stuff off the top of my head. I need my notes. But TX16 has been on a lot of stuff here recently, and in Pearl and also hybrid form. So you should have a pretty good grasp on TX16 in general. So, and then if you scroll down further, I don't know how many of you know that this is here, and I don't always agree with it, but generally speaking, it's good information. They actually, if you scroll all the way down the website, they have kind of a little where this stuff slots. So it is medium flare potential. It is going to be a little bit on the smoother side. It should be. So I would probably, and again, I haven't seen the ball yet, so this is speculation until we get ball on the lane. But I again, because it is kind of a smoother cover stock to begin with, and it doesn't have a whole lot of differential. It's got a decent amount of int diff, but it's still going to be it's got a very low RG, so it's going to be an early rolling revving, and with a little bit of pop. But again, probably Black Venom territory is, I think, that where we're going to be. So it's kind of right in the middle. So it's not going to be a super angular ball, but it's not going to be really slow either. The hook length, so it's not going to be super. Again, it's not going to be super early. It's not going to be super late. It's going to be kind of right in the middle. The oil volume, again, it's polished TX16, and since the whole softgate thing a couple years ago and USB-C changing specs, harder TX16 is it's not as strong. Most people think in Phase 2 it's a really strong ball. Well, it used to be before they had to raise the hardness on the cover, and so it is still a pretty strong ball. It's just, again, the oil volume, especially when it comes shiny out of the box, this is what you're going to be looking at. So it's more for mostly medium dipping down into lighter conditions, and you probably can use it on heavier conditions. You're just going to need some transition. Pattern length, yeah, I think you're going to be able to use this on all but the longest stuff. And even when long patterns start breaking down, I think you're still going to be fine. And then lane condition, again, it's not going to be a ball for the dead fresh, unless you do take it to 3,000 or something. And depending on how much friction you have on your house shot to begin with, it may be a fresh condition ball. But generally speaking, for most people, it's probably not going to be out of the box a fresh condition ball. It's going to be for the early. It'd be the second. It'd be the first ball down, second ball down, and then I would imagine too that the Ion Pro can move around. It's pretty versatile as far as going left to right. If you've got the wheels to get it back up the hill, you can probably get it to finish from anywhere on the lane. So I would say that as deep as your game will let you traditionally get, you'll be able to just chase once you get into this ball, you should be able to just chase it for a while. So I think that's going to do it for the look at the Ion Pro. This is, I would assume that Zach and Tobias will both get one of these. Zach especially has used his Ion Pro a lot. I got one and I didn't make the video for it because mine wasn't very strong. I love this is the thing. I used it for the first 2 months in league at the beginning of the season, and it just would not hook on. No, we got people here. It just would not hook on the test pattern. I've never had a ball perform that badly on a test on Chromium, but I did really like the rounder shape, the way that it rolled. I threw it in league for, like I said, the first 2 months of league was that ball. And I shot 640 to 670 every single set. I left a lot of 7 pins. It rolled great, but it just was kind of weakish. I would really love a crack at this one, though. So, because I've seen other people's Ion Pro, I've seen kind of two different. I've seen other people's Ion Pros that look like mine, and I've seen some that look really, really good that actually hook. So this one would be one that I'd be really interested in. So enough rambling about that. Let's check out the High Road 40. High Road 40. I'm not a big fan of that logo, but that's whatever. It's really big, but who cares? So the interesting thing about this, we all know the High Road core. It's the same, but I believe that this one does have AI. Oh, no, this one does not have AI. Interesting. So this is not going to be Road Warrior, because I think the Road and the Road Warrior both had AI. So they were like 255,045, I believe I remember. Of course, I'm on the website. I could check it, but I don't want to. So this is 257,046. So this is just straight up the inverted FE2 or FE squared core from the High Road Pearl. This does not have AI in it. So that's interesting because they've been putting that in all kinds of things. Maybe with it being a 40th anniversary ball, maybe they decided to leave AI out just for this and have that, that thicker cover stock in there. This one has A1S Pearl, and that's the cover that's on the Equinox. So that's interesting. The Equinox, I think, has been better and more popular than I expected it to be. I thought, okay, well, it's a little bit stronger, but it's still a cleaner cover, and I just didn't know. I thought it was, with as angular as it was, I thought it's just going to be an over-under nightmare, and that doesn't really seem to be the case. It's definitely quick, but it's also really stable too. So I have seen a lot of people using it very successfully on conditions that you wouldn't necessarily expect that it would show up on. So I think that's what the Equinox, I think that's what Josie Barnes just won the Queens with, and you just wouldn't expect on a tough condition like that a skid flip ball would be in play there. But it seems to be one of the good skid flip balls, kind of like a Theorem, one that you just wouldn't expect to be as good as it is. So this one is a High Road Pearl, basically, that's just using A1S, which is a handful of steps up. I don't think it's TX16 strong. I think it's in between R2S and TX16. So it's not like putting the whatever the latest Belmo ball was. Oh, that's something different anyway. That's REX Pearl. So it's not like, this isn't quite Journey cover territory. It's somewhere in between there. So that's interesting. Again, we all know this core. It's High Road core, A1S Pearl. It's the adhesion system technology, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there if you want to read through that. Really cool picture. Again, we get to looking at this stuff. So we've got, it's very high flare, but it's pretty high flare potential, but it's again, it's 046. That's fairly high. It is going to be very angular because it's got a higher RG, so it's going to get down the lane pretty far, and then it's got a lot of differential. It's got a really skid flippy cover on it, and so it is going to be very angular. It's definitely not going to be early or mid laney at all. It's going to be late. The oil volume, again, this kind of fits in the same zone as the Ion Pro. The Ion Pro Solid does. Not quite as much. I think it's a tick less. So yeah, this is going to be for medium to lighter conditions. It's definitely going to be medium to shorter patterns, because on long, it's just anything north of medium, it's just not going to spin up fast enough unless you have a lot of transition. And then, of course, yes, looking down here, that just explains, yeah, you're not going to see this on fresh conditions. This is going to be several balls down from the bigger stuff. So either if you have very dry lanes, or if you're getting into transition, This could be one of those sneaky good balls, kind of like the Road Warrior is, that you think, oh, it's another high road, cool, whatever. But this is a high road pearl with a little bigger cover, but it's not quite, because they've done this before on the high roads, because they did the night road that had REX on it. I think it was REX or NEX. I can't remember. Either way, they've gone with a lot stronger covers before. Then they had the High Road Max, which was NEX solid. But I don't know how many times they've done the original High Road Core, unless you go overseas, the original High Road Core with just a notch up with kind of a mid-range cover. So again, I'm sure that somebody will, gosh, I can't believe that you forgot to mention this. That's why I write notes down. Anyway, so yeah, both balls are coming out on June 20th. So that's 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I would imagine. I don't know if Tobias is going to get the high road. I don't think, with symmetric balls anyway, they've got to be strong symmetric balls. But this stuff's, both of these are right in Zach's wheelhouse, so I would imagine he would get both of them. But anyway, so that's a look at the couple balls. Remember, I said too that the XL is discontinued, so you might want to pick one of those up if you get around to it. This video has gone way too long. That's what I've got for now. And once we get ball on lane, then we'll see. This is just kind of speculation for now. So we'll see what happens when we actually get balls on lane. And I should have reviews up in probably a week and a half. So thanks everybody for watching, and may the strikes be with you.